We have the Kansas City injury report released on Wednesday, and let me tell you, it looks pretty good. Let's break down the injury report and discuss the left tackle situation heading into this crucial playoff matchup. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. The biggest headline today comes from Matt McMullen, the Chiefs' senior team reporter, confirming that every single player participated in practice. Now, this is significant. We're seeing a pattern here with full participation over multiple days, which is exactly what you want heading into the playoffs. Let's dive into the specifics here. McCole Hardman was the only player listed as limited in practice, but honestly, that's still positive news considering where they were a few weeks ago. What's really catching my attention is seeing Shamari Connor back in full practice mode after that shoulder issue from the Broncos game. Then you've got Chris Jones. That calf injury had a lot of people worried, but he's out there. Full participation, looking fresh after some much-needed rest. But here's what I'm most excited about. Jaylen Watson. This is absolutely huge, folks. We're talking about a player who suffered a broken ankle, and now he's been a full participant for 2 straight days. Before his injury, Watson was playing at an elite level, easily one of the top 3 defensive players on this Chiefs roster. Look, I've been watching film on this defense all season, and the impact Watson had before getting hurt was remarkable. Now, there's still some procedural stuff to handle. He's technically still on injured reserve, so the Chiefs need to officially elevate him for the game. But based on what I'm seeing in practice, that seems like a mere formality at this point. Another interesting factor in all this is the Chiefs playing on Saturday instead of Sunday. This scheduling could actually be a significant advantage here. Playing on Saturday rather than Sunday might not seem like a huge deal, but let me break down why it matters. If Kansas City advances, they'll get that crucial extra day of recovery before the next round, something teams like Baltimore or Buffalo won't have if they advance from their Sunday game. Now, here's why this matters so much. When you've got players coming back from injuries or getting back into game rhythm after extended time off, every single recovery day counts. Take Jaylen Watson's situation. Coming back from a broken ankle isn't just about being cleared to play. There's always uncertainty about how the body responds after that first full-speed game action. That extra recovery day could be absolutely crucial. Let's talk about that rest factor for a minute. These guys have had 24 days to recover, and it's showing. I was particularly interested in Chris Jones's media session, where he talked about feeling rejuvenated. That calf strain was clearly affecting him down the stretch. When a player of his caliber gets proper rest, it's a game changer. And it's not just Jones. Think about what this means for guys like Mahomes and Kelsey. These are players who've been taking hits all season long, and now they're coming in with fresh legs. The contrast here is pretty stark when you look at the Texans injury report, which is extensive, to put it mildly. In playoff football, health might be the biggest X factor there is. I've seen talented teams fall short simply because they were banged up at the wrong time. The Chiefs are in an enviable position here. They're not just healthy, they're well rested. And remember, this is a team that had their bye week all the way back in week 6 or 7. They've been grinding without a break for what's been an incredibly long season. You could see it in their late season performances. Those close games weren't just about competition, they were about energy management. This team has been playing chess while others were playing checkers, conserving energy while still securing that crucial #1 seed. And let's be real here, there's been a lot of chatter about whether this extended break might make the Chiefs rusty heading into the playoffs. As an expert, I can tell you that's not something to worry about. We're talking about a veteran squad that's played more football over the last 3 seasons than any other team in the league. They didn't need more reps. They needed recovery time. Think about the timing of all this. If the Chiefs had played on Wild Card Weekend, we wouldn't be seeing Jaylen Watson back at practice. That's just facts. This break has been absolutely crucial for their injury recovery. And that's an advantage that teams like Buffalo and Baltimore didn't get. That could be a major factor in the AFC Championship picture. Look at what's happening around the league. Take the Lions, for example. They're still winning games, but they're absolutely decimated by injuries right now. That's the reality of playoff football. Even though I'd pick the Chiefs regardless, you've got to feel great about their position right now. Just look at the roster. Watson is coming back into the mix. Chris Jones is feeling fresh. Shamari Connor is recovering from both that concussion and shoulder injury. And even McCole Hardman is showing progress in practice. This Chiefs team is the healthiest all season, and the timing couldn't be better. This is exactly what you want heading into playoff football. You know, there was a lot of criticism about the Chiefs resting their starters in that final regular season game. But look at what's happening around the league right now. The Ravens are dealing with Zay Flowers' MCL sprain from playing their starters in Week 18. Rappaport's report this morning suggests he might not even suit up against Buffalo. That's a massive blow for Baltimore. Yeah, here's the thing about playoff football. It's not about what you did in Week 18. It's about how fresh your roster is when it matters most. Sure, people gave the Chiefs grief about cheating the Bengals out of a playoff spot, but nobody said a word when the Bills and Rams made the same decision. That's just the double standard Kansas City deals with. Andy Reid's got his team exactly where he wants them. mentally fresh, physically healthy, and ready to make a statement against Houston. The Texans are limping into this matchup while the Chiefs are hitting their stride at the perfect time. And let's be honest, this is when this team historically plays their best football. The playoffs are where they shine. Now, speaking of important decisions heading into Saturday, the left tackle situation is interesting. Right now, all signs point to DJ Humphries getting the start, but I'll tell you what, this is a game where you've got to be ready to adjust. Joe Thuney has been playing some solid football, but we're not talking about a simple plug-and-play situation here. When you're facing elite pass rushers like Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., every detail matters. Sure, Thuney handled them brilliantly when these teams met less than a month ago, but playoff football, that's a different animal entirely. The Chiefs must be seeing something in practice that gives them confidence in Humphries over Thuney. But here's what makes me nervous. Thuney at left tackle has been a proven commodity. When you move him back to left guard, yes, you might improve your run blocking on that side, but you're changing something that's been working. In playoff football, that's always risky. What's interesting here is Reed's approach to this decision. He hasn't made a definitive announcement yet, but reading between the lines, that actually seems to favor Humphries getting the start. Think about it. If they were sticking with Thuney, we'd probably know by now. Here's what we need to watch for: how quickly they adjust if things aren't working. The Chiefs have shown they can scheme around protection issues, whether it's using running back chips, tight end help, or getting the ball out quickly. They've got options. But what's really telling here is that Thuney has more starts at left tackle over the last year and a half than Humphries. That's not just a stat. That's a meaningful experience in this system. And before we wrap up today's analysis, some big news just dropped. The Chiefs landed 3 players on the AP First Team All-Pro list. Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Chris Jones all got the nod. And let me tell you, these selections are well-deserved. Trent McDuffie also earned second-team honors, which is pretty impressive. And you know what really jumps out about Thuney's selection? This is his second straight first-team appearance, and he's been consistently elite. He made second team in 2019 and 2022. But here's what's really remarkable. Look at his performance when he moved to left tackle this season. We're talking about facing absolute monsters like TJ Watt, Danielle Hunter, and Myles Garrett. And he didn't give up a single sack in those 3 starts. That's just ridiculous. PFF had him ranked as the second best guard in pass protection this year, but honestly, what he did at left tackle might be even more impressive. All right, folks, that's the breakdown heading into this crucial playoff matchup. Now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think about the left tackle situation? Should the Chiefs stick with Humphries, or is Thuney the safer bet? And what about Jalen Watson? How big of an impact do you see him making in his first game back? Lastly, do you think this extra rest gives the Chiefs a real edge, or could it backfire with some rust in the early stages? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more AFC West updates coming your way. See you in the next one.